Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Zebra Nation Plays FM Scout Academy Challenge with FC Dallas. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus here, but I'm back for the Season 5 season finale, I guess. Yeah, so let's get right to it. Let's go down the checklist. Well, nah, let's not go down the checklist. Let's start with our competitions, just to get all the drama out of the way. As you can see, we are in first place in the MLS Supporters Shield, first place in the Western Conference, but it hasn't been easy. It's been, a real dogfight coming down to the end. You've had Minnesota and Sporting Kansas City and all these other teams just really nipping at my heels and clawing for playoff position. It's been a really, really brutal end of the season, but we are on top. So coming down to this last week, we're going to play one last game, the final game of the season for all the marbles, at least as far as the Supporters Shield goes. And the Supporters Shield is important this season because if we take a look at the schedule, we'll see that I lost out in the U.S. Cup in the semifinals versus Los Angeles. I recorded that game. I'm not sure if you got to see it, or if you're going to get to see it. I had a lot of recording troubles this season. I had some software updates that just didn't take well, and there was audio problems and just all kinds of problems. So that's part of the reasons I went on hiatus for a couple of weeks here. But also, other games came out, so I was playing those games. But we're back now. We're back in full swing, and you can see here our form at the end of the season was a little bit up and down. We had several losses coming into this last quarter of the season here. 5 of our losses came in the final quarter of the season, and it's just not a good look. Not how you want to go into the playoffs. But we rallied. We won these last 2 games away, which was very difficult, even though, the games themselves turned out to be not so difficult. 3-0 victory over Real Salt Lake, 3-1 victory over Columbus. But just our confidence was real shaken. We were very, very just up and down at the end of this season. We'd lose a game 1-0, couldn't score a goal, and then come back the next game, win 5-2 over Vancouver. Same thing, Orlando City, lose 0-1, and then come back and score 3 goals against Columbus, 3 goals against Real Salt Lake. So it's, just really up and down. And our confidence is a little bit shaken, but I think if we get this final victory at Portland, win the Supporters Shield, get some hardware, that's going to really help our confidence for the playoffs. And the other thing it's going to do is it's going to get us into the Champions League, which is what this whole thing is about. We need, in terms of the challenge that we're going through, the Academy Challenge, we need to win the Champions League. And you can't win the Champions League if you don't get into the Champions League. And the only way we're getting in the Champions League this season, we either have to win the Supporters Shield or win the MLS Cup, because we got booted out of the U.S. Cup once again by Los Angeles. It seems like Los Angeles really does well in the U.S. Cup. They do well in the Champions League. I'm not sure why, but they really do put emphasis on it. Maybe that's why they're one of the higher rated clubs in MLS, because they get that boost from getting to the Champions League and winning the Champions League. Well, I think they won it once, like way back before it was a Champions League. Anyway, they get there and they do well. So that's the status we're hoping to reach, but we got to get there in order to do it. I mean, basically, I said at the beginning of this season to myself, I didn't say it on video, but if we don't get to the Champions League this season, I don't know that I want to continue recording this save, because there's no point if we're not getting to the Champions League. There's no point in doing this competition that we're in. So, I mean, I still like Dallas. I still like the club, the team that we've got going on here. But, after 5 seasons, enough is enough. We haven't been to the Champions League since the very first season. So, yeah, no pressure, right? No pressure. I guess now we can go down the checklist a little bit. Finances. Our finances have been steady all the way around this season. $27 million in the bank, $6.5 million profit. Last season was a bit of an anomaly because we had some construction, so we lost $1 million. So I think this is more of what we're gonna see financially going forward, as long as we don't build a new stadium, which I would like to do, or do more expansions. I'd like to do that, but I don't know that there's a reason to do it at the moment. So $27 million in the bank is definitely more than we'll ever need. We've almost reached our proposed payroll budget, which is hilarious. You know, our money in the bank, $27 million, proposed budget, $28 million, which is a ridiculous budget, considering that we're only using $4.6 million of that $28 million budget. I guess the good news is the budget goes down next year. I don't know that anybody's ever said that in their life, but next season's payroll budget is down to only $27 million, so it just seems more reasonable to have a lower budget. And our transfer budget as well is continuously going up. $3.92 million is what we have in the transfer budget, and even though we're probably not going to use it for much of anything other than buying down players' salaries as we increase them over the years. But the transfer budget keeps going up, and it's not really from selling players, because if we go to our transfers, we've had no sales this season, at least that I know of. Yeah, all of our transfers have been loans or drafts or just free transfers, letting guys go. Where we're getting the money from is from competitions where we place in competitions, or from little MLS rules. We don't have any designated players, so we get some compensation for that, and that goes into our transfer budget. So that's going to just continue to grow, and eventually we'll use it, but for now it's not a big deal. The board is still super duper thrilled with us. We're untouchable at the moment at 91%, creeping up on that 100% goal of job security. Other than that, not a lot happening. No changes in the coaching staff or on the board. The club status, we're still 3 stars. We're still a rich club, as we're probably going to remain. Squad-wise, we can take a look at some of our statistics. Appearances, it's the familiar names at the top of the list here: Gonzalez, Washington, Cole, Zimmerman, Acosta. We had plenty of players with over 20 games this season played, which is kind of the demarcation line between too many injuries. If you've played less than 20 games and you're a starter, you've been injured too much. We've had some successful loan players too. Fleming, Sanchez, and Gahani have all played over 30 games out on loan, so it's helping their development, so that's very good. Goal-wise, it's the regular customers, Alcantara and Washington, with 14 and 13 goals, respectively. Alcantara scoring 14 goals in only 22 appearances, so that's good production from him. Schlowski, our third leading goal scorer, he played well beginning of the season. When Alcantara was injured, he came in, produced, but we haven't needed him since then, and he hasn't done much since then. Assist-wise, Stuart Cole, our fullback, leading the team in assists once again. That's what we like to see. We like to see those fullbacks getting the assists. And then Alcantara and Washington with 6 assists apiece, as well as Ulloa, our central midfielder. So, again, familiar names. Everybody should be familiar with those. Player of the matches, Alcantara, Escobedo, Cole, Washington. So our strikers and fullbacks get the players of the matches. Passing percentage, Van de Castile. He had 13 appearances this season. That's pretty good. Acosta was a little bit flaky this season. A little bit injured, a little bit, just in and out of the lineup. So Van de Castile got some pretty decent playing time and made the most of it. Searle, Pomical, it's tough because they play the exact same position, so those guys, they swap in and out. Pomical with 20 appearances, Searle with 11, so they split the duties 2/3 to 1/3 basically, and they're interchangeable, honestly. Zamora hasn't been able to recreate his breakout rookie season. His production went down, even though his intangible numbers went up. His passing percentage and his average rating went up, those kind of things. But his His actual production, goals, and assists are negligible. Then I guess we'll skip all that business. Oh wait, yellow cards. It's always nice to see the yellow cards. Stuart Cole leading the way this year with 10 yellow cards and a red card, so he's been suspended many times this season, as had Escobedo, as has Acosta. Again with the yellow cards. I mean, at least we're not Vancouver, who is crushing folks again this season. We'll look at that later, but it's still kind of annoying. Anyway, average ratings. Average rating, look at all those positive 7-point numbers. Like 7 and above is just really good for all these players. Velasquez, our backup advanced playmaker, he's had to play several games this season, 16 appearances this season, which is far more than he had last season. I don't know that he had 5 appearances last season, or certainly less than 10. But he's had to play due to injuries, and he's played very well. Acosta is up there, of course. Our number one player is Schlosky. It's kind of an anomaly because he only played in 7 matches. But hey, you gotta hand it to him. The production, when called upon, was very good. And Alcantara next. Escobedo, for all his troubles, he still has a really good average rating. Ulloa, of course, our steady force in the middle. And then Cole, Pomical, Washington. Defenders are down. We'd like to see these defenders up a little higher. Johnson and Zimmerman, but there are rock in the middle of the lineup. We can look at some stats real quick. Player stats for the league. Simon Dominguez with the leading goal scorer for Houston. Alcantara made the list. Okay, I thought we didn't have anybody on there. We didn't have anybody on this list for most of the season. It looks like Alcantara got up there with a late flourish there, tied for 6th place with 14 goals. Most assists, again, Kevin Morales, another Houston player. So you can see how just prolific Houston was this season in goal scoring. Shea Adams from Los Angeles, 2nd. So a lot of Western Conference teams at the top of the list. We don't have anybody in the assist list, at least not in the top 10. In terms of distance covered, of course, Cole all over the field in 3rd place. Papi Paye from Chicago, number 1 with not almost 10, but over 9 miles covered per match. That's pretty good. Most tackles, Raul Rodriguez. Again, Houston Dynamo just dominating the stats this season. None of our players are on the list here. Least concessions, Patrick Rakovsky from Philadelphia, from the Czech Republic. Only 21 goals allowed this season. That's pretty darn good. Followed closely by our man, Jesse Gonzalez. Only 22 goals allowed this season in 28 appearances. So that's actually pretty darn good. Let's see any other names on the list here. Sammy Jock for Toronto, pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Most shutouts. We dropped all the way to 7th for most shutouts. So Gonzalez, I guess, is a 1 goal a game kind of guy. With 12 shutouts, that's pretty good. Freddie Woodman with 17 shutouts in 32 appearances. That's pretty good, but I guess in the games that he doesn't shut out, he gets scored against. So maybe that's more testament to their defense than his ability. Most tackles, Jabrovsky from DC United. Surprisingly, we do not have a player on the list here. Surprisingly, also, I don't think Vancouver has a player on this list either. Most dribbles, who cares? Most key passes, Santi, what is that name? Cazorla? Santi Cazorla from Los Angeles with 42 key passes. Good man. We don't have anybody on the list. Shots on target, Francis Washington and Ulloa both on the list. 7th and 8th place. So, I mentioned this in I think in the mid-season video, if that made it to air. I don't know. But we had a very good season as a team, but not great season for individual stats. And maybe there's a correlation there, because if you look at Houston, they had a lot of players on this list, but where'd they finish? They finished 6th place in the Western Conference, and probably double digits in the Supporter Shield. Yeah, 12th in the Supporter Shield. So maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something to putting team over individuals there. Although goal-wise as a team, we're number 1 as a team, tied with Houston, 55 goals. So that just blows that theory out of the water maybe a little bit. I don't know. Or maybe not, right? Because we had less individual stars, but just as many goals as Houston. So maybe that's validation, Holmes. Headers won. We're up there 3rd place. That's one of the things I really hate, is when we have a team that can't win headers. So I'm very pleased about that. Average possession, again, I like possession. So we got 53% possession, 3rd in the league. Minnesota and Real Salt Lake ahead of us just barely. Most tackles won. We are not on the list. Columbus, number 1, with 74%. Least conceded, of course, New England up there. Only 27 goals allowed. We were 4th with 30 goals allowed, so our backup goalkeeper let a couple of goals in. Most shutouts, again, 2nd to New England with 14 shutouts to our name. Most fouls, 5th place again, 483. And look at the top of that list. Vancouver crushing people, 625 fouls. That's nuts. That is so many fouls. I don't know how they get away with it, honestly. But yeah, terrible people. Passes completion, 78%. That's okay, I guess. Good for 7th in the league. Crosses completed, 12%. Pretty much where we are every year. I wish that was higher, but that's pretty much league average. Shots on target, again, pretty good. 3rd in the league, 44%. I guess the other thing that I like to look at every year, of course, is the attendance. And once again, our attendance is abysmal and disappointing. Average attendance, we are 20th in the league again with 13,861 average attendance. It's just not good enough. I think we've got a 20,000 seat arena, so it's just not great. So what's our percentage? Percentage-wise, we're 14th in the league at 67%. But even if we got it up to 100%, we're just not a big enough club. Not a big enough club. All right, so I guess that's everything, right? We've looked over stats. We've looked over our schedule, right? Looked at this. Yeah, looked at the schedule. Looked at the competitions. I guess that's it. Our cup-wise and competition-wise, as I mentioned, lost to the Galaxy, who won the competition, the U.S. Cup. We lost to the Chicago Fire in the Brimstone Cup. We won the Lamar Hunt Pioneer Cup by beating DC United. And then we won the Texas Derby by beating Houston. So, nobody really cares about that stuff, but in terms of our board. But it's always fun to win some cups and things. So I guess we'll continue on, and let's get to our match versus Portland. Now we got a couple of... I'm going to take a drink of water here. All right. Talking too much. I got to get back in the swing. Going to send our assistant out to do some of these interviews. I thought we were on the match day, but I guess not. Yeah, Portland has had an okay season this year. Not really that good, though. 9th in the Western Conference. They are not going to make a playoff spot. They're 10 points out of playoff contention with 1 game to go. So we're hoping they've got nothing to play for and that they just show up and we can crush them and win the Supporter Shield. But you never know. That professional pride comes out. Portland's got a very good, enthusiastic fan base. So they're not going to want to let those guys down. We got a bruised thigh for Schlowowski. That's fine. No other injuries to speak of. At least I can't think of. No. I hope that continues. I hope nobody gets injured on this last day before the match. But yeah, Portland, they're a good team. They're a proud team. So they're probably going to show up, but we can always hope that they're not going to. Zamora he's the one recovering from an injury. He's recommended to be limited to a minimum of 45 minutes of action. So that's not good because I'd like to get him some match fitness before the playoffs, but I don't know if that's a great idea because he could get re-injured, but I guess I'll risk it. I just have to remember to take him out at halftime. I'm going to start him. Take him out at halftime for Velasquez, who's been playing well in his absence. But, I need to get him match fit. So we'll play him there. He's only got 65% fitness. That's one of the problems with late season injuries is you lose that fitness and there's no way to get it back, really. It's not like you can send him down to the under 23s or something like that. It doesn't really work that way in the MLS. So, yeah. All right, we got our standard lineup in case you've forgotten. Gonzalez in goal. Cole, Escobedo at fullbacks, Johnson and Zimmerman are rocks in the central defense. Acosta, defensive midfielder, Uloa Pamical at central midfield, Zamora at advanced central midfield, and then Alcantara as the advanced forward and Washington as the target man up front. We're going with control tactics against Portland because that's what our assistant coach suggested. So we're going to do that. Follow the suggestions of our coaches. That's why we pay these guys, right? So I mentioned the hiatus I was on, recording troubles and things like that. But also I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect. Well, take that back. Not a lot of Mass Effect. But I have been playing Mass Effect. It's okay. It's more Mass Effect. It's not necessarily good Mass Effect. But, so I've been playing on and off in that. And then I've been playing Battlegrounds, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's like a third-person survival sort of deal. We got a interview here. Chad Parker, enthusiastically indifferent, from the American Soccer Chronicle. Victor Ulloa is set for his 200th league appearance for the club today. Just how much does he mean to everyone here? He's truly fantastic, truly, truly outrageous. Can we expect attacking focus? Sure, why not? I hope so, yes. All right. Looks like, they're going very defensive here. 4-1-4-1. So they're going to probably stay back, maybe counterattack with Adi. He's a dangerous striker. We got to keep an eye on him. So hopefully our control game can neutralize any of their counterattack. But it's been my experience that the opposite usually holds true. Usually the counter, if you forgive the pun, I guess it's a pun. I don't think it's a pun. Anyway, the counter to possession is actually counterattack, from what I've found. Go out there and prove a point or something. I forgot what I said there. Yeah, come on, guys. Show me what you can do. All right. Let's start the match. So yeah, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. It's basically, they took the idea from DayZ, as a mod for DayZ, whereas basically no zombies, everybody is on an island or whatever, and then there's a shrinking cloud of gas that makes everybody, oh god, sound. Alright. That's good, we got rid of that. That was disturbing. So yeah, there's like a shrinking cloud that poisons you if you don't move away from it, and that sort of makes everybody fight each other. So it's third-person survival, massively multiplayer, and there's like 80 or 90 players in every match, and you just run around in teams and try to survive as long as you can. It's pretty fun. It's pretty addicting. There's a lot of YouTubers out there streaming it and showing it on their YouTube channels and stuff. I probably won't do that because I'm terrible, and I don't know that my... Here's Alcantara with a free kick. No. And I don't know that my friends who I play with really want to be on somebody's YouTube channel, so I don't want to, invade their privacy or anything. Here's Acosta moving up. No good. Gets the ball stolen. Yeah, it looks like they are definitely playing back, playing defensive. parking the bus, as they say, and fouling quite a bit. Here's Alcantara with another free kick. I'm not really sure that he's a great free kick taker, but you know, he has scored a couple of goals this way, so I'm just leaving him there. Zamora wins it, gets it up to Washington. Look at that. Look at how many players they have just sitting back. It's kind of ridiculous. Washington, Costa's coming forward a bit too much. I've got him in the ball-winning role instead of the defensive midfielder role. I don't know that that's good for us. Looks like Cole's trying to get down the sideline. Oh, there's a play to Zamora. Look at that. Working off the rust there with a shot on goal. Good man, good man. 20 minutes gone in the half. We're getting all the highlights. It's to be expected, I think. Okay. Ulloa with a free kick that time. Testing out different players, I guess. There's Acosta winning the ball. Good man. Let's see if we can start another highlight here. I don't have my fullbacks on attack right now. I've got them on support, which could be part of our issues. Here's Alcantara going to take on the whole team by himself. If we don't score a goal or anything like that, maybe I'll switch to attacking fullbacks, but I don't know that we need to win this match. I think a draw will be just fine. No. Well, let me think about that. We're 2 points up, so no, a draw might not be good enough. Because I don't know where a goal differential lies at the moment. I'm pretty sure we're close to the top in goal differential, but I don't want to leave anything up to chance. We're getting weak shots. I'm getting really, really weak shots on goal. How are our instructions going? Looking, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, we're dominating the match. We're dominating possession, so it's all we can hope for here. They haven't even got a single highlight. So I'm fine with that. Is that Acosta moving forward? Oh, you know what his deal is? I forgot about this. Ooh, there's a good build-up of play. But for Acosta, there's Washington with a weak shot. When I had him playing at fullback for those first few seasons, I trained him up to get forward as often as possible because that's what I do for my fullbacks. And now that he's a defensive midfielder, he's still getting forward, so that's probably not. I don't know that I can untrain him from that at this point in his career. It might be a little too late for that. There's Cole making a run. Can somebody get it out wide to Cole? No. Washington's going to take a weak shot. Now they get their first counterattack, but it's stifled. I don't know that Adi can beat our two defenders one-on-one, especially when our fullbacks are in support mode instead of attack mode, because it's basically 4-on-1 then. Keep going, you can still win. Instructions, this might be just a boring, grinded-out draw, unless Portland gets lucky and scores a goal, and then we'll have to go forward and attack. We'll see. Looks like maybe they're putting a little bit more pressure on the ball here. See if they change tactics. All right, they get a highlight here. Free kick to no avail, really. We're gonna gather that in. Zamora's gonna gather. I forgot to sub out Zamora. Thank you for making a play, Mr. Zamora. We're gonna get you out of there. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Don't get injured. That's all I have to ask from you. No injuries. Washington gets it stolen. Yeah, this is going to be not a very exciting match if we don't make some changes here, if we don't do something about it. Maybe send our fullbacks forward or just wait for them to go forward on their own. There's Washington with a shot wide. Maybe I could send one forward. How about that? We'll send, let's see, maybe we'll send Escobedo forward. Yeah, let's send Escobedo on attack and see what that gets us. All right, here's a corner from Ulloa. Nothing happened there. Velasquez, our new substitute, can chase it down. Like I said, he's played pretty well this season. He's a veteran. I mean, he's been around for 4 or 5 seasons. No problems there. All right, pep talk. How are we looking? Looking a little nervous. Oh, there's a free kick. Whoa, we missed the free kick from Velasquez. Oh, it went wide. It went wide. I was wondering why they weren't making more fanfare out of that. It just looked like it went in the goal. All right, here's a corner from Ulloa. No one's there. Velasquez, though, chasing it down. Playing well. Centers it. Washington gets a shot. First real save of the game. Despite all this possession, we haven't done much with it. All right, here's another corner. Ulloa. Goalkeeper gathers that one in. Talavera. I mean, I don't think they have that great of a goalkeeper. But when you don't put any pressure on him, it's hard. Oh, here's a highlight for them. Valeri. Ooh, Gonzalez is there. That was kind of a dangerous header. I mean, if that had been a better header, might have been dangerous. 69 minutes gone, 70 minutes and rolling. They get a free kick. All right, they're starting to put a little pressure on us. They're starting to put a little pressure. I think they might be trying to pull this one out. Oof, Gonzalez. He sometimes makes it look so difficult, but he at least made the save. There's Washington, all right. Heads it back to Escobedo. We're going to build up some play here, build up some possession. Washington taking things into his own hands. Okay, I think that was supposed to be a cross for Alcantara, but Alcantara never made a run. Just a little bit of miscommunication. Ulloa and Pomical are a little bit tired. Escobedo's a little bit tired. Here we are, free kick, Velasquez. There we go. Nope. Make a couple of substitutions here. We can bring in Thompson for Pomical. They're fairly much the same dudes. And then maybe Bailey for Escobedo. Send Bailey on the attack and see if he can make a play with his youthful enthusiasm. Thompson's rating has not been good this season. I think because he's been playing so many different positions in the midfield, it's worn him out a little bit. I don't know, maybe he's just had a bad season. He is still very young. You know, he's one of our academy players that we brought up. He's only 19 or 20, so you know that's to be expected, I guess. Here's Alcantara on the run, gets tackled. 87 minutes down. We're looking like we're scoreless draw territory. Unless we get caught on some kind of counterattack here. McCann dribbling the ball, see if Cole can get the steal. Nope. Nope. Now they're trying to build a little bit of possession here. There's a nice steal from Thompson. No foul. Alcantara, let's see if he can get it to Washington this time. Nope, Velasquez takes a shot. Goalkeeper didn't need to make a save there. He just bounced it on the top of the goal somehow. All right, 88 minutes down, and things are looking draw-tastic here. That's okay with me, I guess. Bailey, nice tackle. See if we can start a counterattack here. Washington can't quite win the header. These are some pretty boring extended highlights. Oh, Bailey with a nice steal. Washington. Here we go. We're building it up, boys. We're building up to something. Acosta moving forward. Gets it to Alcantara. To Washington. His shots have been so weak this game. I don't know what his deal is. He's just, I don't know. We'll assertively concentrate. How about that? Here's Alcantara again. Dribbling quite a bit. Velasquez up to out wide to Bailey. Can Bailey make the play? He fires it on goal. That's the hardest shot this game by our reserve fullback. Here's a free kick. The corner kick. Uloa sends it long this time. Johnson can't win the header, but Washington tracks it down. See if he can make a play here, being out wide. He's kind of unfamiliar playing wide. He's usually the target man. That was a decent cross for a target man. You know, he's trained to play in the box, so that's to be expected. We got 3 minutes of stoppage time here. Another corner kick. Velasquez tracks it down once again. Sort of an ill-advised shot there, but Cole gathers in the rebound. Sends it forward to nobody. Here's Portland on the counterattack with 1 minute to go. They're sending players forward now. They got all 5 players going forward here. McCann centers it, headed wide. So it looks like we're heading draw here. 30 seconds to go. Taking our sweet time with this goal kick. Here's Gonzalez. Now, hopefully we don't get caught playing too conservative here. It's a foul by Malcolm, I mean. Hopefully we don't get caught playing too conservative. You know, we get the draw, we get the 1 point. But is it enough to win the Supporter Shield? We should be winning these matches. Unlucky boys, not our night. All right, so let's continue on. Let's check out where we finish. Supporter Shield, we're still first. At least we're still first in the Western Conference. It's all going to come down. There we go. There it is, boys. Supporter Shield, MLS, FC Dallas have won the MLS Supporter Shield. Look back with some great wins along the way, perhaps the most notable including a highly impressive 5-1 dismantling of Houston, convincing 5-2 victory over Vancouver, impressive 5-0 dismantling of DC United. So we did have some big wins this season. Guess I kind of forgot about that. So there we go. Houston secures a playoff spot. We're probably going to see them again. Now let's check out the competitions and see just how close that final race was between us and New York City. They did not win their last game. I think they got a draw as well. So we finished 2 points ahead of them. Our goal differential is +5 anyway. They would have had to kill whoever they played up against. So okay. As long as we didn't lose and they didn't win, then we would have been all right. All right. So there we go. Our first championship in the MLS, or at least regular season championship. Our first piece of hardware in the MLS, winning that Supporter Shield. And let's see, go down the list here. Nation praised by FC Dallas supporters, right? Fans and experts alike were unanimous that the person responsible for the team's success was Zebu Nation. That's correct. FC Dallas has issued a statement that the club stature was always going to be capable of winning the Supporter Shield, and they are happy with the achievement. The board is now keen to ensure Nation is able to fully concentrate to prepare the club for future challenges. So we've met our... we've definitely exceeded our expectation from the board. They just wanted us to finish top half. And so we won the Supporter Shield, so there we go. Pareja declares win a proud day for the fans. Yeah, Oscar Pareja is still like one of our club legends. So he's always chiming in about FC Dallas. And then here's one of those things where we were just awarded $200,000 in allocation funds for our Supporters Shield. So that brings our total allocation fund up to 2.79. Does that say billion? That should not say billion. Our allocation fund is not 2.79 billion. That cannot be possible. Let me check that. Let me double check that. All right, I don't know what that's all about. Oh, those are a thing in MLS, the allocation funds. I don't want to get into those. Let me see if they have those explained in the rules, just because I'm not 100,000% sure what the allocation funds are totally good for. You know what? I'll look them up to be sure and get back in the next video. But for now, we're going into the MLS playoff as the Supporters Shield champion. So I think we'll continue the series on that note because the fact we get into the Champions League next year, and that'll give us something to look forward to. So until then, we'll see you next time for the semifinals of the Western Conference playoffs. All right. See you then. Bye.